Hello. Hi. Um, we just finished the Hunter video, so it's the Titan's turn. Yay! Yeah, I know. That was lame as fuck. I'm also disappointed in myself. Um, First aspect. Bastion. Alright. Bastion does a couple of things. One, grants allies within around 15 meters apparently. Um, Void Overshield. Whenever you catch your barricade, it will do the exact same thing. And if your teammates are near a barricade, you will regenerate 10 health per second inside of the void overshield health inside of the barricade. It does increase the cooldown of both of your barricades. That's mainly a PvP thing, I think, to be honest. But yeah, it's really good. We talked about void overshield. This is the best case scenario for void overshield, as it can regenerate just standing next to the barricade. So yeah, also it's gonna get a little bit more use as your bubble will be able to deal with it. We'll be able to apply it to you as well really soon. So yeah, nice. Moving on, we have Controlled Demolitionist. Basically, any of your void abilities will apply volatile to enemies. Um, Exploding any enemy that is volatile, or exploding volatile rounds. Me. Exploding volatility will give you and nearby allies 90%, 90 health. So it's a really nice way to just straight up heal yourself by just forcing that onto you. Controlled Demolitionist has perfect synergy with the fragment that gives you volatile rounds, as that also counts, which means that you are constantly healing yourself, which is, yes, a change from running from like Bastion and the Void Overshield thing, but tying them together to some degree is nice. Also, you have other ways of acquiring Void Overshield, namely your melee abilities, which both give you Void Overshield, as well as Echo Cessation, which can give you Void Overshield if you're low health, but you'll also be healing yourself at the same time. So yeah, this is a good one. This one is one that doesn't get used as much, but I think it's a little bit underrated just because of the ease of use to heal yourself and your allies. And then easily applying volatile to the enemy as well. Offensive bulwark. This is like um, this is the bread and butter of this subclass, if you ask me. This is something that you should be running almost all the time, no matter what. If you have a void overshield, you will uh, increase your melee damage. Um, Apparently melee kills are supposed to regenerate a portion of your void overshield, but to be honest, bro, I never noticed that. Never used it for that. It seems to about double your melee damage as well. This is all damage, and all damage. It increases your grenade regeneration rate while you have a void overshield. And whenever you have your sentinel shield super, you get 2 shield throws instead of just 1, which is also nice. Yeah, basically, if you are running Void Titan and you're not running this, I'm pretty sure you're doing it wrong. Yeah, that's the way I put it. This gives you all the things you want. Unbreakable. Now, this is a new one. Apparently, you're going to be able to hold your grenade to put a shield in front of you, similar to your um, Sentinel super shield deal. Um, and then it'll push damage back toward enemies whenever you release it. I don't really know what. Uh, yeah, I don't really know what it's supposed to do other than that because it's brand new. But I figured I'd go ahead and throw it in here. Now we're moving on to melees. You have your shield bash. You have to sprint for 1.25 seconds before you're allowed to use the ability. You'll see the whoosh. Then you run toward an enemy and press your melee button. If you get a kill with that ability, it will give you a full void over shield. This ability also suppresses targets, so you can use it to stun overload champions, as well as making those witches shut the fuck up, because nobody likes them. Yeah, that's about it. It does get buffed if you already have, because it is considered, it is still considered a melee, right? So it is buffed if you have offensive bulwark and a void over shield already before you melee. And yes, it is basically double damage, so it is quite good in a lot of different scenarios. For a while there, people were using it as just like damage itself. You can use, I think you can still kind of do it, to be honest. Give yourself void over shield, put on peregrine greaves, and just run at something, jump in the air, and melee the fuck out of it. Should be one-shot champions, at least close to it. You also have the ability to apply volatile within the subclass, so yeah, go for it. It's pretty good. Next melee, shield throw. Throw a shield, it will give you 15 overshield per hit. I think this is a mistake, but whatever. It is affected by gravity. Apparently it can bounce up to 5 times, but I've only ever really seen it bounce around 3. It is, again, it says it's affected by gravity, but if you throw it on the ground, it will go straight in the air, which is confusing to me. Yeah, apparently this is getting both a damage and a tracking buff. Yeah, thanks, it needs it because this is part of Prismatic. Pretty much everything that's on Prismatic was stuff that was not used as much generally, and they're buffing them to meet the sandbox's current standards, which is good. Sentinel Shield. I did not have. Oh no, never mind. Okay. So, as you can see with Sentinel Shield, you get to run around like Captain America and fling your shield everywhere. You can also, the other part of this, can I pause it? Yes, I can pause it right here. No, it didn't work. It didn't do the thing. Okay. Bam, there we go. So the other important part of this is that your light attacks are just a regular swing of the shield, and it is a 3-hit combo. But the best way to use it is just use the 2-hit combo, because the other hits don't do a lot of damage. You really just want the last hit. Throwing your shield and tagging targets does not do anything to you. It doesn't like give you a buff or anything, although I wish it would give you like void over shield. That just makes sense, but whatever. Pairing this with controlled demolitionist is a really good idea, because then you're tagging everything with volatility and healing yourself as well, making it even better super. Although you would, I guess it depends, whatever. The other thing that's really important for this is that you put up an impenetrable barrier when you use your heavy attack, as it will block. If you have your allies close to you, then uh, oh my god, then the super will not drain anywhere near as fast. You can hold it up and fully protect your teammates as long as nothing is hitting around your shield, because again, it's impenetrable. It gives your teammates the highest damage increase, or highest empowering damage increase in the game at 40%. 40%. I believe well is 25. Even Tether's a 30. It is global toward that enemy, but it's 30. And they also get 50 handling and 50 reload speed. I don't think people understand that that's what happens when you stand behind this thing, because people are so used to well just kind of doing everything for them. But it is a lot of damage. The biggest problem though is that you lose what's the word I'm looking for? You lose the person who's holding the shield's damage, because they can't do anything but hold the shield. Um which typically means that in like big raid scenarios, you're just losing so much damage it doesn't matter. But now with the changes they're doing to well, if you're just not safe behind the well, it might just be worth bringing a Titan with this just so you don't die, or the bubble, which could also protect you so you don't die. Um, Rise of the Defender Titan, hence the name. One thing I would like to note is, um, just because I'm weird, I don't hate this super, although I do think it is the lesser of the two supers here. My suggestion would be to add either an option like an aspect one, or a or an exotic two, where you can put your super down like you do a barricade, and have that solve all of your that'll solve all of your DPS problems. Even if you have to drop the damage increase a bit, the fact that you're completely defended now pairs really well with, well, uh, pun not intended. So yeah, I think that'll be a great idea. To be completely honest with you, um, I'm sure nobody's watching my videos, but if anybody at Bungie ever hears this, that's dope. I know developers don't like it when you like directly give them suggestions, but something like that. I want to be able to have the benefits of this shield being put down, even if you take the super like away from me, but put it down. I want that benefit, but I also want to be able to shoot my gun. So yeah, that's the dream. Moving on. This is Word of Dawn, but screw that. We call it bubble. As you can see, you cannot shoot through the bubble. Um, God dang it. As you can see, you cannot shoot through the bubble. Um, here's the information about the bubble. Uh, it's going to be changed. I'm not even going to read the bottom one. That's what it does in current game as of today, 5/31/24. Um, by the next Tuesday, which I believe is the 3rd, then the top will apply, which is basically that you're not going to be getting the one-off ability increase stuff anymore. When you go into whale, you will be getting void overshield as opposed to a different thing. All right, so while you're in the whale, you're gonna get void overshield, which is a 60% damage, 60% damage resistance. It will also slowly give you your overshield back while you're inside of it. It might be fast actually. You do increase handling and reload speed by 50% apiece. The caster can generate orbs of power by scoring melee kills while within the dome. This pairs very well with offensive bulwark because you're going to double your melee damage. Also probably means you need to be running a shotgun with 1-2 punch just so you can get that punch damage. Um, it's not very big. The amount of health of the bubble is based off the caster's resilience. I think the biggest thing is just that you used to get a damage buff if you went through it, but now that will no longer be the case. The adjustments being made is basically that you walk through it to get a void overshield, or you stay inside of it to continuously get the void overshield. Also, if you stay near it, you'll continuously regenerate your void overshield as a way to help you just again avoid death, just no dying. That's like the whole point of this build ability now. All right. And then Twilight Arsenal, I unfortunately do not have any footage of this, but this is the new super coming with Final Shape. Basically, just imagine a one-off, quote unquote, one-off super. Jump in the air, you throw 3 axes one at a time, right? The axes will weaken on contact, and you can pick up the axe, and you have about 12 seconds upon pickup to swing the axe, and then your heavy throw will throw an explosion, which seems to be equivalent to just flinging the axe in the first place. Um, if not, it's still a pretty good chunk of damage. And you're not the only one that has to pick these up. You can use your teammates can also pick these up as well, which could be a bit annoying in PvP, but I digress. This seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a ton of damage, in my opinion, a ton of damage. And it's going to have a bunch of utility. I can imagine people throwing like 2 hammers, or hammers. Sorry, I'm used to saying hammers for Titan. 2 axes at one guy, and then throwing another axe on the ground, picking it up, swinging at your axes at that boss into the end, and then flinging one more explosion at the boss. It just sounds amazing, um, and interesting. And that's what Titans need. They need super help and interesting damage. Um, yeah, so that's it for Titan. I don't want to make this too much longer, so later.